I've Seen All Good People by Yes. Guitar player Steve Howe. This guy. Let's talk about that solo. That has been one of my favorite solos of all time for the past decade. So much energy. So much energy that was conveyed through his big guitar. You know, he played this huge hollow body guitar. Great sound. Okay, let's start with this. The whole solo is in like, it's kind of like an E blues thing, but it starts off in A. Goes B. Okay, so he's just like throwing some craziness, a lot of energy at you in A and then in B. So one thing he likes to do a lot with his solo, starting. It's like an A7 right here, right? Taking these two. Travis Pickin is what I'm pretty sure Merle Travis kind of coined. He would use his pick with these two fingers, and then he's got these other fingers to pick also. So it's a combination of those two. How he starts the solo is like kind of insinuating the A7. And then, so throughout this whole solo, like it's over A7 and B7. It's kind of like blues up in the air, right? So there's a lot of major third, there's a lot of minor third activity. So like major third activity, right? And then that time it's the minor third. Good exercise right there. And then he's back to the major activity. Because Steve Howe obviously knows the scales. Doesn't just know them like, that's good, but know more than that. Know all like the thirds. Oh. Okay, he's going backwards. This isn't note for note. I kind of just know this, had this in my head. I used to listen to this album all the time while I was pushing carts at ShopRite. Late at night, I just listened to the whole album. And obviously this song stuck out to me. It's like their hit from the album, the radio airplay song. But all these songs. Let's get back to that solo. So it's kind of like an A major, G major. You can think of it like F, little A. Just taking the two. This is just sticking with like an A major with a flat 7. So it's like an A Mixolydian scale. Why choose that? Because if you want to sound majory but still got the blues thing going on, all it is just a major scale flattening that 7th. And the whole thing about the blues is over these dominant 7th chords. Dominant 7th chords being the 1, 3, 5, and then the flat 7. In this case, in A major, the flat 7 is a G natural. That note. Okay, so getting back to that. Just climbing down, you know? Then right here, I just said about all those notes. Yeah, he's going to use all 12 notes now. Chromatic lick. When he hopped the B. Man, okay. Starting on this F sharp, so like the fifth of the B, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up a string and up a fret until you get to this territory where you're back on B. Walk it to the third, and then play that fifth. Back in this territory. So basically, starting in the fifth of B, F sharp. Man. So, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to reference back to all this stuff, because you can take all this stuff and put it into your playing, your fuse it with you. Okay. That's the next lick. Major, minor right there. Okay. We're over B7, right? All this territory, right? Minor third, major third. It all flies. Right? Okay, so what does Steve do in this situation? So he's kind of like starts on the third, walks it down to the beat, to the root, and then he starts on 7, 5, 3. Kind of outlines. Starts at minor, and then major with that flat 7. So, moral of the story, just blending the two, right? And then, classic example of just play the same thing an octave higher. Yeah. How does Steve do that so quick? Because he knows his scales. He knows his notes around the fretboard. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna reference back. Okay, come on. And then he's just like, "Hey, look, it's an E, right? I got a lot of energy. I'm gonna just play up like an E Mixolydian scale or blues scale. I might even throw a third. Might throw a major third in there. Might throw a minor third in there. It doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna do so, and like keep hitting this open E string. So what do you do? Right? Open string, man. Really got that sass going. Okay, next part. Just straight up sass. Using these like double stops. Basically, it's just a scale, and he knows it so well that he knows it in his thirds and everything. So, right there, another example. Minor third, major third. Just play with them both. E, right? Okay, so now in his scale, more so. Right here. I love that stuff. You can just take, if you know, like, if you got your root right here, right, on like the lowest string, and you're thinking like 1, 4, 5, blues progression. It's all the dominant 7th chord, right? So I got an E7, A7, and B7. There's just 3 versions of each. Version. So he's just highlighting these 2 notes that really, the ones that really get your ear going, right? Because the bass player could be playing the root and the 5th. So I'm going to take the 7th and the 3rd. Right here. All right, you got it right there? Slide it down 1 fret. Now you got the 7th and the 3rd of A7, which is your 4 chord, right? But now in this one it's D and G sharp, so that's 7 and 3. And now you move it down to 1 fret, and you got a C sharp and a G. Now it's 3 and 7 of A7. Move it back up, you're back to the E7. You got 7 and 3. And then move it up 1 fret. Now you're on your 5 chord. You got 3 and 7 of B7. Move it back 2 frets. You got 3 and 7 of A7. And then move it up. You got 7 and 3 of E7. So, all right there. So what? Oh, so he does. Kind of insinuates the A7 a little bit. And then, hey, another prime example. Let's play the same thing down an octave. Because I know my scales, I can do that. That's what Steve said. He said, hey, man, check this out. Same thing. 12th fret. Just act like this is your nut right here. If you're looking at the guitar, it's the same deal, right? You got 1 through 12. You got markers on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and then the 12th. Act like this is your 1. It's the same damn thing, just up a octave. So we got, all right, this is my nut, and then I got a 3rd, down the 3rd, down the 5th, down the 7th, down the 9th, same thing, right? So what flies here will fly right here. Okay, then he goes back into that, like the kind of main riff of the song. All this over A, right? You got that territory. Just then the same thing. B, slide that up. And then he ends it like this. Man. Clearly knows his scales, man. It's on, and on the B7, right? So then he starts at major 3rd. Major third and the root. Third and fifth. Fifth, no, flat seven and fifth. And then it's kind of like a third and fifth of E major. Fifth, third. So. Okay. Travis picking fifth and third, major third, minor third deal. Knowing your scales, knowing your third. And then showing off a little bit. Showing off. Saying to heck with the scales. I'm going to do all damn 12 notes instead of 7. It's still sassy with the major and the minor third. I'm going to throw them both at you. And I'm going to throw it to you up an octave. Because I know my scales. And then, look, I really know my scales. I know them so well that I know all the thirds, too. I know how to play them all, in 2 different strings simultaneously. And then I really know that you can just play that same thing down 12 frets. And another friendly reminder, you should know all of your if you're into this kind of music like I am, you should know how to play all your open position kind of like rockin'. Rockin', I would say, is just a power chord and knowing where to put the 6th, 5, 6, or E power chord, right? 5th. You know that on your E chord, when the E string's your root, right? You can just bar it. And then I would recommend D chord, right? Root, 5th, root. So my 5th, now where to find your 6th? Two frets up from the 5th, right? Right. So this solo has a bunch of good stuff. What I wanted to say is that instead of just, after you learn the solo, and that's awesome to play just the solo, take little bits of that and put it into your own thing. So like say we're in G, right? And we want to borrow a little bit of Steve Howe's energy. Let's do that minor and major third thing. Right? He was in B, right? Same thing in just in G. Phrase it differently. Okay, that's one way. Okay, now Let's do that crazy chromatic thing. Let's see, B. Let's see what Steve Howe did this over a B chord. So he started on this note, which is F sharp, the 5th of B. So now we're in G. And we got to find the 5th of G to start on. And then we know the fingers gonna go crazy and we'll catch up. But that is a D note. So let's play the D. Let's do this one. I just wanted to stop right there because I found my G. You can keep it going just like Steve did. Oh shoot, I'm on C sharp. That's one thing. Now let's try another one of the things he was doing. Let's do, okay, since we're in G, we can always spank that open G string. So, just like Steve did, knows the scale underneath it. What else did he do? I know what he did. I'm gonna play a riff, and then just play it an octave higher. Okay. Not quite. Okay, let me think about that. Okay. That's something I'm gonna work on, but try working on that. That'd be cool to try. Every lick you know, try and learn it. Try and play it right in the octave higher right away. And then you gotta think, oh. Okay, well, moral of the story. Take one solo, especially gold, from bands like Yes, from guitar players like Steve Howe, which there's more than just Steve Howe. There's so many other great guitar players, obviously, and great songs, great solos out there. You take a little snippet of it, and you can really just go on for hours if you want, and take a lot from it. So I do this, okay. In my band Keyless Entry, we're a classic rock cover band from Boston, Maryland. We play in Harford County. We cover the song Are You Gonna Be My Girl, right? In A. And they have this solo. Those are basically the chords, right? Solo kind of starts like this. It's just like basically A blues, A stank, same deal, right? You can get away with a third, major third. Right? I was like, hey, look, I really want to do that Steve Howe chromatic thing. But now I'm going to translate it to A. He did it in B, starting on an F sharp. So he starts on the 5th on your E string and then plays 1, 2, 3, 4, skips a fret, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the same deal, right? So this is what I do. So a little, you could take from the stuff. Why not? Obviously, try and make up your own, but borrow whatever you want to do. It's good stuff. Just keep the fire burning. Keep it burning. That's all for today.